I know what you guys are thinking at first. How did he sneak a Waka Flocka song onto these vibes?
I've been going through so much, I've been thinking about so much. I don't know who to trust or who to believe, who to believe, who to believe. I've been going through so much, who to believe.
My partner got murdered, friends turning phony. Next door neighbor trying to put the people on me. Life's a bitch, I see a brother death creeping on me. Ain't I write it on me, watch these labels trying to clone me. Ain't I write it on me, ain't I write it on me, ain't I write it on me, watch these labels trying to clone me. Ain't I write it on me, ain't I write it on me, ain't I write it on me, watch these labels trying to clone me. I've been going through so much, I've been thinking about so much. I don't know who to trust or who to believe. A couple of friends in my family. I'ma ride it to the end, ain't no fearing. I've been going through so much, I've been thinking about so much. I don't know who to trust.
Come on now, DJ Shak got you. Got multiple vibes. And of course, Dolph's gonna preach about what's going on, dog.
Hello?
What's up, Doc? What you been doing?
This guy's showing us the secret.
Come on, dog.
The way.
Not with the hype! The hype! Nigga, I've been quarantined with my biscotti lemons and promethazine. I know my garbage man sick of seeing empty pint bottles. FaceTime every day with my sister, auntie, and mama. Love ya. Fuck it, make a Corona baby with baby mama. Fuck. Last night I was up 4 in the morning, oil in my chopper. Fuck. I needed some time off anyway, so it ain't no problem. Fuck. Independent, so I'ma eat anyway regardless. Trey happy as fuck, cause daddy been home every day. Ari happy as fuck, cause daddy home, she get her way. Called my nigga and told him, man, I'm finna spend $6 million on stocks. He said, when? Hell yeah, nigga, me too, cause that's how we rock. My president is Trump, in my Lambo blue. This $350,000 Sonic is too. I'm enjoying this time right now, so I don't give a fuck. I heard Trump about to take us to war, so I went and bought 2 army trucks. God, please watch over the nurses and doctors on the front line. I can't wait till the clouds gone and we get sunshine. Real life shit, nigga. Fuck a punchline. Fuck all that. Got my guala 20.
Come on, everybody talking. That's what I love about this time.
Man. Oh,
Come on now. Everybody talking. Come on now. Daddy changed the world, dog. Daddy changed the world. We still got one more. I got one more. We got a vibe. We got a vibe.
Okay.
Shout to Sir. Shout to Sir and D Smoke. This is one. This is a real one.
I'm glad you listened to Sir.
Come on now.
If I don't make it to my pillow for these lights go out, please write about me. Cite my lyrics and know they ignite my spirit. Po babies fighting depression. Been writing them essays to graduate with no stage on Zoom.
Not with the hype!
Send me the link, I check into your room, motherfucker. Cyber congratulate you, then purposely agitate you. Asking questions like, how you supposed to protest with no chest? A big heart, but they close down all the gyms. Wish you had more flex. A Rolex won't keep you sane and safe from danger. They shut down nature, where the fuck I'm supposed to place my anger? Ironically, my honesty might make me enemy of state. I trust that God to use my pen to draw his face. Still got my pistol on my waist.
If I shout,
Yes,
but
sir.
ain't nobody around to hear me. How about it when it echoes?
Ooh, boys, how you feeling? How you feeling, boys? How you feeling, guys?
Man. Okay, I gotta tip my cap, man. That was I felt that. I felt that intro.
Felt that too, man. It's in the sky. It's in the sky, fam.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. I mean, we're all exhausted. We'll put it that way. But yeah, we definitely know that we gotta, use our opportunity and platform to be able to speak to each other, speak to you guys. Like it's a tough time. So let's let the show go on. Let's go.
Mandem, it's not with a hype thing. A war.
The world
baby.
general speaking.
Yeah, man. We're back again, bro. Heavy week. Hearts are heavy, but we're here, yo.
And Mr. Brampton.
Brampton's finest.
Correctly. Here, man. I feel like I'm coming down the WWE, stage, coming down and going to the ring right now. I'm amped.
Let's get to it. And of course, it's myself.
Chop like Shak. You waste yo.
I mean, yeah, like we've been saying, this has been a week like nothing that I think anybody has ever experienced. especially us in our lifetime with like what's going on in the States with like the protests, where basically we can say that George Floyd's murder has been the last straw. So I think just to, I guess, open up the conversation.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling, guys? How have you been feeling this week?
Man, it's been hard, bro. Like I'm barely sleeping at nights, man. Like just a lot of my mind emotionally drained, like mentally drained. It's been an exhausting week, man. Like, really.
When you say exhausting, and I think this is something we're going to talk about a little bit. What do you mean by that? Because I think some of our friends that might not be going through what we're going through, maybe can't fully understand what you mean when you say that I'm exhausted. Like, what does that mean? What do you like? Why are you exhausted?
I can't believe this is happening again. It feels like a few weeks ago we were talking about Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and here we are again. And this seemed to be, like you said, this seems to be the awakening. Like everyone is on this train right now, as they should be. To make a change happen. And for me, it's just been hard because like I don't know why this one hits different. Like I feel this one, and I think it's because collectively as a community, we're all in mourning, and we didn't even know George Floyd, but his story is the story of so many Black people in our world, America, Canada, globally. Like, it's the story of us, and it's just been exhausting trying to explain it to people who don't understand why we're upset. And it's been exhausting hearing it on the news every single minute of every single day.
Blood clot desert eagle.
Blood clot exhausting.
The original Jamaican dandada.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's so fitting because that's exactly how I feel like saying sometimes, So it's that for me, that's just why it's been mentally and emotionally draining, man.
Brandon, can you relate? Like, how are you feeling?
Yeah. I echo those sentiments. I think every day when it comes to even my job too, like every day they're fighting towards anti-Black racism. Like they just had a review on this particular, topic. And then now, of course, it's just amplified even more, right? And every day people, like, of course, with the protests going on outside, every day they're speaking about you. Like anti-Black racism is all of us, right? And we're all going to feel it because of our own shared experiences that we've had. Of our own individual experiences, and going online, speaking to people checking up on me and being like, "Yo, are you good?" Like, I know it's been a lot for you and your family. I'm like, wow, I feel like I lost a loved one myself, right? So it's just a lot to it's just a lot to absorb, a lot to go in the fact that these people are really learning about what microaggressions are, the different things that are going on that we deal with on a regular basis. They're seeing like, hey, this is how they're affected because, of course, we were almost conditioned to just like let it, be under the rug and just not speak too much to it. A lot of us have spoken to it, but I just think it's one of those things.
There's a lot of things that we let slide. We let a lot of things slide, and a lot of things that we kind of maybe will half address, in situations where now we're having altercations with, not altercations, but complete disagreements with people that we completely fucked with. I straight cut people off over this shit. And to give you guys a little bit of insight into that, because like I had a post where I basically like I was just completely done, and like you guys, like I'm waking up every morning for the past like 4 or 5 days like emotional, like mad, close to tears if I'm not already in tears. Like it's been bad. I haven't been working really. And it's hard to focus on anything that's not with like what's going on. And then when you're focused too much on what's going on, that's not even entirely healthy for you too. So like, I'm just trying to find the balance in that. So like I've been, I have a couple people that like I follow and whatever that I've known, like this one girl, I've known her since high school. And like known her since high school, meaning I know the type of music she listens to. I know that the type of food she likes, the type of men she likes, all of this, right? And if I'm seeing you as you're super active online, you're posting like mad stories, I just can't fuck with you anymore if you're gonna consciously make that choice to live in your little fucking bubble of privilege. And that's just not fair. And that's just not a situation. Right now, the situation's so critical that people start really educating and sticking up for what's right to actually be the forces of change that we all hopefully would want. That I can't fuck with you if you're not down a ride like that. So off rip, I don't even feel like talking because, like you said, I'm exhausted. So I just put my story up and I started unfollowing people.
Yo, my boys and I from high school, we've been doing the same thing. Like, I actually cut off people from time. Like, from the jump, I've been cutting people off on my Facebook friends list. Friends in quotations,
right?
Because half those people aren't really your friends, but whatever. But this week brought to light the fact that some people are just so whack and so phony, and they're not understanding what's going on. Like, I got brought to my attention a couple people I went to high school with who I thought were cool, if you will, but they're posting things and try to say that they're in support of Black people. But this one girl posted a picture of someone in blackface and is saying Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Like, at that point, one of my boys went in on her comments. We all, if we were following her, we all unfollowed. It was just like not a good look. Had someone else saying cryptic messages about not calling out the movement, not calling out that the cops were wrong, not saying anything really, just very cryptic in the way they're speaking and generalizing the issue, making it sound like those of us who are upset about it were speaking a bunch of hyperboles or we're blowing this out of proportion. So that guy, he got unfollowed.
Early.
And that's someone that like I was just talking about recently with my girl. And that's someone like, I considered a friend. Like, I would see him out. He would hook me up at the restaurant he worked at, stuff like that. But it's like, yo, you're not really a good person.
Like, him saying that is him flexing his privilege to be able to make that judgment call. Like, you don't have that. That's not your call. You don't know how anybody feels. This is not you. You're not part of this. So you're either going to support us and try to listen to us for once.
Yeah.
Or you just don't fuck with me. There's no half support. There's no Drew Breesing this shit. Where like, no, you either fuck with me and you're here to listen to me, or you don't.
100%. And these people are they're revealing yourself to you, right? They're revealing exactly who they are. But the scary part is that there's way more people out there that are just following along what we're doing, like hiding behind that black picture on the black box on Instagram, right? That's the scary part about the entire thing. You got to realize that like a lot of these people are just sheep, right? So I'm not trying to call out too many people.
This is not an ice bucket challenge. Like, they all have to understand that this is no ice bucket challenge. This is not something real. Today. What is happening these past few days, and by the time that everybody's hearing this, it would have been almost a full week and a bit of protesting. This is not just the next challenge on social media. This is not just the next Black man that has died and been murdered in custody of law enforcement. This is the last one that we can tolerate in the way that we've done in the past. Where we were doing super like we're doing things that you should. I wouldn't think that another human being would say, no, we're not allowing you to do that, like Neil.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And even people that are exploiting this too, like, profiting money off
talk
of this.
Talk about that a little bit.
Talk about it, man. Talk about it.
Yeah, but once again, man, I don't want to call out anyone, but there are people out there that get positive feedback by, supporting the cause by, uplifting their own community, but in turn are looking to profit, like put money into something, but looking to profit because they're saying, oh, yo, we're really doing this for our community, but we want to help you guys. We're backing up you guys, right? But that's not what it is. Like, we don't need anyone just to be like an extra ally. Like, just show your support, donate to those Black organizations and communities that need it and need the support right now, rather than, use your own platform in order to, make a clothing line, for instance, or, make money off of this cause. Like, that's exploitation. And in some sense, it fires people up because it's almost like you're using this. Like, do you see breast cancer awareness? People, making money off of that themselves to keep themselves, or they send it to research, right? So honestly, there's a lot of stuff that fired me up this week too, and even today, in a few days, right? So, and from friends too, but I think they just need time to understand what they're doing, because all that money should be going towards the cause.
Agreed, man. Yo, can I talk about what I did at this past week, man?
Please talk on.
I feel like I just want to get this off my chest because like, I also want to highlight and say that it's important to recognize the allies that we do have, because I was feeling a lot like you guys. I was really upset, and I still am, but thinking I was alone going through this.
Amen.
So I spoke up. Every week, my workplace has like a virtual call, if you will. So about 200 plus of us will get on Microsoft Teams, and we'll virtually chat with each other and just catch up on business operations.
Right.
This week, they actually opened it. Our country president opened it with a statement about what's been happening and basically standing with the Black community, which I felt was amazing to see happen, right? And then I got the opportunity. They asked me if I wanted to say a couple words.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what I was going to say at the time, and I just got on and just started speaking. But I basically told them about my experience. And while I've never been, had a confrontation with a cop, I've seen it happen. I've had friends with it too. But I spoke about my experience of being racially profiled. In small instances of even going to a store, a place to buy clothing and being racially profiled, followed by security, having those microaggressions said to me, having people look at me and judge me before they even know who I am, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about that. And I talked about the experience of people I know who have been carded on the street and who have been profiled by police. And it opened the eyes to a lot of my colleagues, who most of them are white. And I got a lot of response from them saying like, I needed to hear that because I didn't know what it was really like. I couldn't understand what it's really like for Black people right now. And a lot of them reached out to me again in the week saying that they've been reading up on the situation. They've been educating themselves on what's happening, and they're down to support in whichever way they can. So I think it's important for us to speak out about this, and it's important for us to take the time and have these discussions with people because they need to be had.
So yeah, you're completely right, and I agree. Like, I'm happy that your workplace gives you a platform like that. My father told me a similar situation where he has these weekly meetings that it's like a Zoom thing where it's like for an hour at the end of the day, they can just get anything off their chest. It's just like a casual thing. And I think he never attends, but this is the one time he attended, and it wasn't planned or anything, but he had one of those moments where, it brought people to tears. Like it literally, like he said, everybody's little boxes were going black one by one because they were, getting emotional about it. And, even down to one of his former bosses who had a lot of situations that I think my dad was very vocal about, that he was completely in the wrong. And, he was completely moved by it. And, it was just, it's one of those things where, especially from a Canadian perspective, people need to hear it because like you're hearing shit like what Doug Ford is saying, where systemic racism is not a thing here in Canada. And so it gives people more that veil that everything's all sweet over here. Meanwhile, realistically, I don't fear or feel like I'm going to be lynched or called a nigger when I'm walking down the street, but I do know that racism is here. It's just mad polite.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
So
exactly.
all those microaggressions that happen, every business I've seen has, just like the COVID crisis, or like COVID virus, same thing happening with anti-Black racism. They're doing the same thing because we have two viruses, anti-Black racism and COVID right now, man. So
and that's what I said.
It's nice that you guys are all speaking up and
that's what I told them at work too. I was like, we have a health pandemic and we have a social pandemic that's happening right now, and this one is not going away with the vaccine. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think we just got to keep on having these conversations about every facet of like what's really going on in life. And that's, I think the funny thing is with my documentary that I did a few years ago for my master's. So a few years ago, if you're not familiar, I went to Ryerson, I did my master's, and I did a documentary on stereotypes of Black people in reality television and film. And I did a couple screenings. I had a couple really really powerful Q&As and things of that nature. But this was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So, sorry, this White Claw's killing me. So I basically, I honestly did not repost that at all. But I don't know if my brother shared it or somebody shared it. But basically, that thing has been seen over 1,000 times or something like that within the past couple days alone.
As it should be.
And I was really happy with just people are watching it, they're sharing it, and then they're having a conversation with me. And the people that are doing it are not people of color, which is great, because that's what I really wanted this to be. However, there's a couple things that I do want to address about the documentary. I feel like, especially with conversations with my brother Malik, who in the documentary cuts his hair off to kind of, he felt like he had to conform and assimilate to be accepted. And I thought at the time it was a very unapologetic, apologetic piece. I was an unapologetically black man. I was just myself. I looked at that and I was kind of like, I cringed a little just because I felt like what you're looking at, it was me making something very digestible and from a perspective of we just want to fit in. We want to get accepted. We want to get there. And in this day and age, especially what we've been seeing, and you know what, and to the point where we're like completely fed up. Fuck that. Yeah. I don't want to be accepted. I don't want to conform. Malik doesn't have to cut his hair to be accepted in the workplace. His hair is right back. You know, I talk about like right now, completely unapologetically myself in the workplace. Whereas like, you know, I dress however the fuck I want to dress, and that's intentional. That's not just because I'm like, I just want to be like a cool guy or whatever the fuck. No, yes, it is. I am a cool guy and all that shit. But like realistically, I want to show people that I can look like this and still shut shit down in the workplace. I can look like this and still be an educated person. I can look like this and still be your friend. So I just wanted to get that off my chest as far as the documentary goes, and just like how happy I was to see that people are actually interested in looking at content in general to educate themselves.
Yeah. Honestly, I went back. I watched that last night. Actually, I remember being there doing the audio for Blake Carrington.
Oh yeah. I forgot you were with me. You got a credit. I forgot.
Yeah, I remember the credits. I'm like, I was there. I was like, oh yeah.
That's hilarious. I forgot.
That's hilarious. Yeah. But just watching that, it's like that's what we've been doing our entire life. We've been socialized to be accepted because we didn't want to, we didn't want to be cast as like an outsider, right? And our parents have done a certain, raised us in a certain way, but no, we're just as educated as anyone else, and it doesn't matter, the content of your.
If you don't want to fuck with me, then I don't want to fuck with you. Period. Like if something bothers you about what I look like,
that's it.
Then I don't want to fuck with you anyway. So that being said, like I've already talked to my brother and I've talked to quite a few people. We're working on another iteration of this. Imagine like this is like what 6 years later. You're imagining like our craft is crazy. Like we're lit with it. Like this is gonna be crazy. I'm not gonna like say too much because we haven't put pen to paper yet. But it's gonna include big names for sure. The quality is gonna be pristine. Like. Put it this way: the last time you saw this documentary, it was filmed, directed, whatever the fuck. I did it all. Brandon helped with that one scene there. I got some help with Brandon on that one scene there. My boy Sean did the audio, and that's it. Like I did everything. So this is where I'm gonna have people that actually do this shit to get this right.
Yeah, man.
And it's gonna be very unapologetic. So I'm looking forward to getting started on that.
It's needed. And you know what? We have to be unapologetic because it's a double-edged sword, man. We try to conform and people scrutinize us for being, in my case, it happened to me, not because I was trying to conform, but people accuse me of being whitewashed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
man.
It's a double-edged sword. You get labeled, you get crucified either way. So why not just be all the way 100% us, man? 100% black. That's it.
If I had a penny or even 10 cents for all the times I've been called whitewashed, or like, you don't speak black, you're not black.
Exactly.
I would be freaking rich right now. I can pay off my tuition by myself, right? So I'm not going to conform to that at all anymore, and it's gonna be called out. I think people need to be rightfully called out.
You got to call it out. You got to have very uncomfortable conversations with people. I understand this is hard. Certain times, like when I was unfollowing some of these people, I'm like, I've known you since I was 14 years old. Some people. You know, some people, it's like you technically have never done anything wrong by me, but nah, I can't. And then there's some people that have already shown me who they were, and I did what a lot of us do and just allowed unacceptable behavior.
We ain't got time for that no more. We ain't got time for that.
Like we've been saying, like we have so many of these conversations. We can talk about racism when it comes to dating, black men getting fetishized. We can talk about microaggressions in the workplace. We can talk about just walking down the street, what that's like as a black man. Like there's so many situations that I feel like we have to have a lot of these discussions and make a real conscious effort of getting into these deeper issues so that people and everybody knows that A, you're not alone, and B, oh shit, I might be part of the problem unknowingly.
Yeah. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. That's all it is. People get educated. Who cares about the flag? It's not about the flag, Drew Brees. It's going
Let's see that whole Drew Brees thing. So, like, was he talking to was it Yahoo?
Yeah, Yahoo Finance.
And he said what? I don't have that clip. He said.
He was asked initially, "Hey, how do you feel about, of course, the season coming soon? How would you feel if players started kneeling, and obviously combating anti-black racism in America?" And he said, firstly, he initially just came on and said, "Look, I wouldn't even any hesitation at all, right?" And he said, firstly, I don't respect anyone that disrespects our flag. My grandfather did this and this in World War II. So every time I put my hand in my chest, I think about him. But Drew Brees is missing the key point in it all. It's just so mind-boggling that him, of all people, in New Orleans, in an area where it's very, very, a lot of black people that needed, of course, Hurricane Katrina from that time. He should know this by now. He analyzes defenses so well, but he can't analyze this situation so well for some odd reason.
Honestly, read the room is like the easiest way for me to explain like what he should have done.
Why did he speak? Like the fact that would come out of his mouth, I was so upset, and for all the reasons you said, Brandon. Like especially someone like him who is in a city that deals with so much racism and so much discrimination against black people, and black people have been treated unfairly in Louisiana, in New Orleans for so long, make up so much of that population and his fan base. He should know better, man.
So there's been so many people that should have known better, and that's my whole beef with this whole situation where you're seeing the divide.
Just to cap it off. Yeah. Just to cap it off. He's not seen that, of course, kneeling was never about the flag. Yeah. Once again, a lot of these players in the NFL today, black, have had grandfathers that were in the war that when they came back from the war, they were treated like dirt. His grandfathers probably came back and were good, right? So it has nothing to do with the flag and the veterans at all, right? Kaepernick did what he did, of course, to combat anti-black racism and, of course, racial injustice in America altogether. So he's missing the point. It was never about that. And a lot of people are coming on. I'm really proud a lot of people are coming on about that. So he exposed himself to us. Same with Jake Fromm, but of course, a lot of other people that are hidden are doing the same thing probably. So it is what it is, man.
It is what it is, but yeah, we got to keep doing our thing to ensure that we don't allow it. I don't want to. I shouldn't say it. What? Yeah.
I shouldn't say it. Yeah. We got to combat it. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't want to completely put a bottle on this conversation, but I do want to put a little break in our serious discussion. We're going to get back to it for sure. Yes. Patrick, I don't know if you want to take away who we're about to introduce. Well, here.
Let's do it, man.
Hold on. Let me let them in the room and let them know that they're about to be introduced and let them know that they're live. Hold on.
Z is season.
Yeah, man. Let's introduce these guys properly as they get set up here. So yeah, actually we could continue this conversation because these guys that we're about to introduce, you know, they've actually shown their support and shown a lot of.
Well, we can bring them in on the discussion, but I want to introduce them too.
Yeah, we'll introduce them for sure. So if you don't know, we're about to chop it up with the guys from CZN. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to the pod.
Whole gang. So can you guys introduce yourselves individually so we know who exactly we're speaking to? Let the people know.
Sure. My name is CJ, and I'm the C in season because it's spelled CZN.
I'm
Zosky, so I'm the Z or Z in season, and I'm the Matthew Novali Joseph. I'm the N in season. What's up?
What's up? Welcome to the pod, guys. Appreciate you for joining us.
Yes.
So basically, you guys won a very. I mean, Simon Cowell. I don't know how to intro that, but like it was Canada's Got Talent. Is that what it was?
Nah, yeah.
I should go ahead and say.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. These guys, you know, first found them as a competition in Canadian Families Got Talent, which was amazing. These guys blew it away from the start, man. Like they had an amazing audition video. We actually have a clip of it which we could play. And they got handpicked by Simon Cowell himself to be the winners. So congrats to you guys, man. Like that's amazing.
Applauso.
Oh, you hold on. You can't say applauso when I got my hand off the keyboard. Here we go. Applauso. There you go. Give
it to him properly.
So hold on. I just want to play the clip of when you actually won and you were and Simon announced it.
The winner is CZN.
Hey.
Tis the season.
Listen, I love the other two, but I have to tell you guys, I think what you did, I think you're very current, I think you're very cool, I think you're very likable, most importantly, really, really talented, creative, inventive, and I can't wait now to meet you in person.
Guys, Simon Cowell just gave you his gold stamp. What? What do you want to say to Simon?
This is the golden buzzer. Oh, man. But there was so...
And then I want to let me just play the video that actually got you there.
Spending daddy's money with an attitude, Roxanne. All she wanna do is party all night, Roxanne. Never gonna love me, but it's alright. She think I'm a player. She keep running back though, only 'cause I pay her. Roxanne. All she wanna do is party all night.
Hey,
okay.
Congrats, guys. Congrats again, guys. I just want to ask, like, so what was the feeling of, hey, you guys decided to enter this, and then to actually win?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When we saw it, we were like, I guess we'll enter. You know, like we didn't think too much about it. We were like, oh, we'll throw in this submission. We don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. You know, we just want to keep making our music and sharing it. And this was a cool platform. And then we made it to the top 10, and it was like, oh. and so we started reaching out to our friends and family to get those votes in, and they went so hard. Campaign was presidential still.
Honest.
Yeah.
You're gonna vote for my son, right?
And then to actually win, how was that feeling?
Yeah, and then just like, because we were being filmed on a TV camera, so we couldn't see Simon, but we could hear him. So just having him actually talking to us and talking about us, it was just like really surreal. It was mostly like shocking when we were just like, because it needed to sink in for a second, like, you know? It was crazy.
You guys were literally like the best thing to come out of Sheridan College, honestly. Like, just thinking about what's going on. The teacher that put you guys together in a group, like, have you guys given her flowers? She's the mastermind, honestly.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, we gave her a D shout out actually when they were talking about us. We were like, shout out Mary Lou, because she saw us doing our thing individually, and she was like,
yeah, but you know. Yeah. And we actually we had like local champagne with her.
Yeah, right after we won, like that afternoon,
yeah,
she was like at our apartment just with a bottle of champagne and balloons.
Wow.
Okay. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So like, I want to ask you, like, I know we talked about, you know, her bringing you guys together, but what has that been like? You know, you were each individual artist. So what's that like coming together to form this collective and you know, form this movement, really?
I mean, for me, it's like we just can work off of each other, and it's like it's amazing to not just have your own view on a melody or a beat or something, but have like a team with it, where like if I sing a melody and this guy's like, yo, that lyric would be sick on it, or this guy's like, well, we could change the beat here so that it can do this. Just like the collaborative.
So you've got the cheat codes.
And our individual genres, like I come from a more pop-based background, he comes from a rap-based background, and Matthew's more R&B. So just joining it together is, I think, makes something, it's pretty special. Yeah.
So do you guys find that you lean towards a certain genre, or do you find it's like kind of like a nice medley of all three?
Like, because it depends. It's like sometimes it's like it's very like everything's very like melody driven. So we come with melodies, but then sometimes you have to hit them with some bars too, just to know it's real. And then it just always mixes. It's like
it depends on the track.
It depends on the track and the vibe we're going for sure.
Yeah. So
I noticed on sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all you.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say I noticed you guys had some bars in that Time Zone song, and that you guys had. So, yeah, okay. I was figuring. I'm like, who wrote that? Like, who came up with that? Because that song's fire.
Writing the bars is like
just because like I grew up with a lot of like rap and R&B, and then obviously like church music because like praise the Lord. But it was like using kind of like that background and then mixing it, and sometimes like we always like intermix kind of like our lyrics as like maybe I could write something, but it would sound sweeter with a melody. So I'm like, hey, get that. They write some lyrics, and then they're like, yeah, but it would sound clean if you could pass a flow onto it. So
Okay.
So what happens next after this? So you guys win. So what happens now?
We're just making a ton of music.
Oh, nice.
Have there been more artists come out and actually, you know, wanted to collab with you guys in a sense, or did you see any future projects with anyone soon?
Yeah, we have your friend.
Yeah, we have a few producers that are into us, so they've been wanting to make beats. Two sent us a beat. But yeah, we also like are invited to be on America's Got Talent next season. So
nice.
Perfect.
Wow.
We're kind of hopefully going to use this next year before that to, you know, build our platform so that once we get out there, we have some leverage.
Yeah, I know that's crazy. That was a surprise, right? Because I was watching that broadcast live. Did you know at all that the winner would possibly get the chance to be on America's Got Talent, or like how did that feel in that moment?
No idea. Like not even the TV hosts knew. The producer.
Yeah.
Because this guy can just say whatever he wants, and it goes. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, super wild.
Oh, that's awesome. So
last thing I see with that, but like have people been reaching out to you guys in a different way? Like, yo, I really want to be like y'all. Like, you know, a bunch of like girls coming in your DMs. Like, how is that happening?
Yeah. What's the
Brandon
DM
wants
like?
to know where the ting's at.
Where the ting's at, yo.
Good job.
Switched up, eh?
2 years ago, I was trying to holler at you. Where was you at?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Yes, King. All right.
Keep your receipts. You got to make sure you keep your receipts at all times.
Yeah.
And we have some like manager talking going on, and like on the business side of things. So that's starting to happen too. That's really exciting.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you about you guys next, because this is all happening, I'm imagining, quite quickly for you guys. So what has that transition been like from this just being you three guys just doing your thing to, all right, yo, this is business now. So we got to get a manager. We got to, actually get some actual strategy going with how we're going to start rolling things out. And also from a perspective of doing it collectively, because this is not just me making my own decisions. It's everybody speaking for everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a lot of conversations about just like how we want to just like move forward. Communicate. We're just always in communication and talking about like where we're at and everything in life, so that we're always like on the same page,
Right. No, that's awesome.
I want to ask you guys one thing, because I noticed I was always confused or like kind of thrown off because I saw Canadian Families Got Talent. I saw you guys, so I'm like, all right, what's the situation? Are you guys roommates? What's that like right now?
When I looked into the rules and regulations, it actually says in it you can be friends, and I was like, damn. And we were already together we had already been a group for like a year and a half, and we were just like, why not? So we just submitted. And
that's awesome.
It's kind of crazy that we won, but yeah.
Your teacher's pretty much told, like, I'm a teacher too, but every teacher's pretty much told, like, hey, don't worry about coming back to school, guys. You guys are good. Or you guys graduate, like,
So Patrick has also told me and showed me that you guys have been using your talent and your given skill set to be vocal about what's been going on this past, I guess, week and then some. Could you guys just give your thoughts a little bit on what's been going on in this crazy 2020 of a world?
Yeah. Black Lives Matter, man. And it's just like the bottom line. And it's, I think there's a lot of hope right now because it's being so vocal. Like George Floyd, I think, was like I hear the straw that broke the camel's back. It's
Literally,
like this is like the last. I was talking with my dad on the phone yesterday, and he was saying like watching all different types of people come together to just support the one fact that Black Lives Matter. It was bringing tears to his eyes because it's just like he's like, is the world finally ready to actually like be serious about equality and having people really like live and be able to live out their dreams and have their kids just like live without fear, So
No.
It's crazy, man. We were talking about that as well, and just the situation happening. And there was I don't know if you guys saw. I want to ask you this about Apple Music and what they did. Being musicians yourself and hopefully getting your music on there. I want to ask you guys: did you see what happened in Apple Music?
What did they do,
this
Pat?
past week? Where they basically dedicated their entire Beats One, their entire platform was playing just Black music. So Black artists, Black music, Black producers. That whole day was on Tuesday was all dedicated to Black artists.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
I didn't even see
that. But what as musicians, like, what are your thoughts on that? It's a company like Apple taking a stand and really saying we're going to promote the people that we make a ton of money off of, first off. And then for you guys coming from like an R&B, hip hop, sort of pop, which is obviously influenced by Black culture, like what do you think about that?
My thoughts are layered because on one hand, I'm like, that's incredible. Like there are people that work their entire lives with no recognition, with no gratification for their work and for their art. But like this time is such a strong time of change, and like there needs to be action. I'm happy that they're using their voice and they're using their platform. Like that's dope. That's so dope. But I'm worried that it's gonna become a trend. And I think that's a big thing to keep our eyes out for is like keeping the conversation going, and making sure that we're targeting the problematic, systematic issues. Like the things that are keeping things the way that they are. I think that I think that those people who got highlighted, like that's incredible. I think that's really incredible. But I'm like, let's keep going, you know, like that.
Yeah.
It's just like keep going.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
That brings me to a point, like from a musician standpoint, like for us, like what we want to do is we want to grow, we want to reach more people so that we can spread the message that we're stronger together. You know, like we walk into a room and we're two black guys and a white guy, and it's just like we want to spread the love and just show people that we're stronger together. And that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's fears right now, and I think that's a lot of the discussions I've had. The one thing that I know I'm hoping that does come from this is the fact that like people's collective question mark on what are the solutions, and I hope that's what I guess keeps us to make the conversation going. But I fully hear what you're saying on the possibility of, this, and I mentioned this earlier. Like, I'm like, I hope people are not taking this as another ice bucket challenge.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a social trend, right? Like this is actual change that we're fighting for. So, yeah, big up to you guys on wanting to push that message forward for sure.
Honestly, just shout out to you guys just from being from the GTA, just winning that just winning everything you just did, and of course just continue to push the envelope forward, right? It's really good to see representation. Of course, seeing you guys united, continue what you're doing, especially as young men. So continue doing that.
You cut out just for a second.
They're like, give me, they want all their flowers.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
I just wanted to say, like, hey, honestly, guys, continue to push the envelope forward. You guys are obviously young men with a voice in this, of course, and you want to just make sure that I just really want to congratulate you and wanted to show that you guys are going to be doing greater things as time goes by. So I'm really, really proud to see you guys win that.
Thank you.
Did I cut out at all? Yeah.
So yeah, before we let you guys go, I want to know, like I know you guys alluded to the fact that you guys are working on a lot of music. Is there anything in the immediate future that we can kind of look out for, or you can give us a little hint, or I don't know, like an exclusive or something?
Yeah.
Well, we just we just finished a new track that is going to hopefully be dropping within the next few weeks.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, there we go.
It's our biggest banger so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some heat behind it. Okay.
Yeah, like we wrote this one like literally starting the day after we won the competition. So there was just some sort of fuel behind it that it just like lifted us off into writing it. There's something special, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna look out for that single and everything else that you guys are doing, and like we appreciate you guys putting the GTA on. Where area are you guys from, actually?
I mean, me, I'm from Ottawa still.
Oh wow, okay.
Ottawa man.
Okay. Ottawa man.
I'm from Toronto.
Okay.
There you go.
And I'm from Hamilton.
Hamilton, man. Okay, you guys are like real. Okay, it's crazy
over.
that you guys all came together. That's nuts.
All at the same time too.
Yeah.
And before I ask you to give your socials, I do want to question why you have so many periods and dashes. And I was confused.
Yeah.
Right before this, we were having a D's conversation. For some reason, the handle CZN is like, we can't find the account, but apparently we can't change our username to it because maybe audit, but all the different usernames with CZN are taken. Like that, literally it took us all the way till that.
Whenever a new platform is created, like they have companies that just make accounts with like all the 3-letter and like 2-letter immediately so that they can sell them later on. Always. That's the same thing with domain names. And now we're just like,
we're trying to report it.
So basically, you got to find the company that owns CZN at some point.
Break this system. We got to break this system to make sure you guys get CZN back.
You got to call Simon and be like, yo, Simon, we need a link right now. We need a plug. Yeah, but no, that's big though. Keep doing what you guys are doing, man. You guys are about to crush it, are crushing it, and
yeah,
man,
you can give your socials.
You.
I did roast them, but you can still give the current one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So our Instagram is _C.Z.N_. And yeah, we have most of our content is there, but we also have a Facebook page that's just CZN Season. Our YouTube channel is also just CZN Season. We have a Twitter that's __season__ as well.
We're also on Apple Music, all streaming platforms as just CZN Season.
Yeah, we're just the artist Season.
And our website is seasonmusic.ca.
We got a website.
Check us out.
Okay.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys joining us, and we wish you all the best with everything that you have coming forward, especially with your new track we got the exclusive on.
Big up, guys.
Yes. All right, guys.
All right, take it easy, fellas.
One. Fellas.
One.
Go.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, big up to Season, man. So definitely check out their music. These guys are about to blow, man. I could definitely see it. Like they're gonna have a moment in the music industry.
How'd you find them, Pat?
I was randomly I watch breakfast television every morning, part of my morning routine working from home, and they were on there actually. So I didn't catch the original audition. I caught the finale,
right?
And I was like, damn. And my girl was telling me, she's like, yo, you got to listen to these guys. And yeah, I caught the finale. I'm like, yo, they got talent, man. Like they're definitely current, and you could see it. Like Simon Cowell, you could see it in his eyes when he announced that he was picking them. Yeah. I saw dollar signs in his eyes. Like this guy, he's like, yo, I'm back. Yeah. He's like, yo, these guys are current. Like we can do something with them. So let's see what happens.
Right. No, that's dope. I did want to ask him. I didn't even get a chance to ask him, but like Simon Cowell has been so rude. Like he made his name on just being rude to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you are not it. I'm not voting for you. They got positive affirmation from positive reinforcement from him. So that's dope that they did that. And they're from Ontario, right? So that's crazy. And the two guys, Ottawa, Hamilton, and then one from Toronto was his feet, right? It's so funny.
Yeah, but I like that they're using their platform, also to promote what we were talking about. You know what I mean? So that's big, man.
Yeah, I did want to bring that conversation back because I mean, what else is really worth talking about at this point? Like it's. I think we just have a responsibility, and I think that 100%. It's what we've been dealing with. Like I said earlier, haven't been able to work as productively as I'd like to. So I think throughout my week, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this. You've had your allied friends or you people who are not black that want to help and show their support, and they often ask this question. And I got it 3 times in one day. What can I do? Aside from posting something or donating somewhere, what can I do? Have you guys experienced that?
Yeah. A lot of people, reaching out, not only myself, but some other people I know, and being like, yo, how's Brandon doing? Give him a hug for me, ask him, what does he need? What can we do right now? And it's of course, make sure you're educated on the matters. Make sure you're educated on the matters. Make sure that you're not expressing any of those microaggressions towards anyone. But I've been getting that a lot. And I think it's, especially for my meeting I'm having on Monday, going forward, it's based on this. So I know people are going to ask me questions and whatnot. So, I've been getting that a lot, man. I'm getting a lot. What have you told them?
I said education, number one. So you got to, and by education, I don't mean ask me all questions. I mean, you can go and do your own research. You can go on Google and take a look at what's going on over there, et cetera, et cetera. I can help point you in the right direction because I think I can, obviously, because I'm knowledgeable, but it starts with education, and I think you have to help with awareness. I think right now nobody has the answers or all of them to fixing this thing. So it's education and then awareness. And then after that, we can have discussions and, people can, take it to a political level. People have often said at this point, we put so much emphasis on, especially in the States, like on the importance of voting for the next president. But you've got to vote for who. Yeah, you got to vote for everybody else at all levels of government where you have the opportunity to have an input, to put the people that should be in power to make those little things that things that affect your day-to-day life. So that's been where my message has been. Pat, I don't know about you if it's been similar.
Yeah, it has been. And like one thing that's frustrating me is that people look to us to have the answers. And it's like everyone's coming with, well, you're black, so how do we solve this? And it's like, like, first of all, I don't fucking know either. I didn't start this problem, right? Like, it's not just black people. This takes white people. It's gonna take systemic change. You know what I mean? So it's gonna take everybody. You know what I mean? And it's like they look at us like, well, you want change, so what do we do? What do we? You know what I mean? It's like, can we have a moment to have the discussion about why we want the change and what's wrong?
What has been crazy is like Malik has echoed that. I don't know, like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen on social media, but like Malik is not the Malik from a week ago already. Yeah. Like he doesn't give a fuck. He's anything that any kind of issue like that has to do with this, he's attacking head on. He's found his voice. He's completely vocal, and similarly to what I've been doing. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm recalling a lot of times where I've let things slide or I've accepted it because that's just what the reality of life is. So whether that's going to the club, and we all as black men are very used to the the realities of getting turned away. You're not the dress code, your shoes, this, that. They're all bullshit excuses. And then when we are let in, we're graciously happy that we were part of the chosen few. That's fucked up. That's completely racist and fucked up. And I don't think people really realize it because, like I said, this is life. This is what we expect.
One thing on that too that like pissed me off so much last summer. I don't know if you guys remember this. It ended up not being true, but the situation where certain restaurants or there's a certain restaurant, I think it was Cactus Club, that was in the news at the time about not wanting a certain demographic of people.
Yeah, that was Cactus Club.
Yeah. And it's not just them that this happens to, but that stuff bothers me. Like so many people profit off of our culture. You know what I mean? Of black culture.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to supporting it, when it comes to supporting the people of that culture, they turn away. They don't want us. You know what I mean?
You go to a hip hop club, it's gonna be all like white women, 5 black dudes, a bunch of white other people, and then all rap music. Everybody's drinking Henny because the rapper told you to. Like you're dressed the way that we talk about. Like, come on, that's fucked.
Exactly. And Shak, you even mentioned this in the label too. Like people are looking at us saying like, we like the streets. We're not in the streets. We're like that. That mentality where they're slinging crack rock, drinking Henny, have the big chains and whatnot. Oh, you're not black. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't express that same sentiments. But to get back to what Pat was saying, people always ask us like, what do we do? Like looking to us for answers. No, you have to educate yourself in order for this to all change. We can't do this ourselves. As black people, we cannot do it ourselves. It has to be a collective not collective agreement, but a collective effort towards ending anti-black racism and just racism in general. Because if you're anti-black racist, you gotta be indigenous too. You gotta be a lot of different things. You have to make sure that everything's equal. What it is,
I think
that's what it is. But it's another thing too. Microaggression. I hate. People come up and say, "Hey, I actually supply taught in a school, a predominantly Caucasian school, and the kids would come up to me like, do you play basketball? Like, do you like just those little microaggressions that we get on our regular, right? And it's like we just sweep it on the rug. It's like, oh, it's expected because we're in Canada. But enough is enough.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, Shaq, before you jump in is to that point. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the memorial for.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I watched that entirety, and Reverend Al Sharpton, like, I need to big this man up because he's done a lot of these eulogies for several of these men who have been killed by the hands of the police. But this time he said something that resonated with me. And it's to what Brandon's saying. Like, we're not asking, and you don't need to come to us with the solution right now. What we're saying is, and he put it this way, get your knee off our necks.
Right.
Let us breathe. Let us have the same opportunities that are afforded to you as privileged individuals in society, right? Let us have the chance to make something of ourselves without putting all these barriers of systemic, racist agendas on us. You know, there's been so much from an education standpoint to real estate, to governance, to healthcare. All these barriers are put on us from before we're even born. We're born into this world with a disadvantage because they have their knees on our necks, and enough is enough. We're pushing that knee off our necks, and we're about to rise up. Like enough is enough.
Like I heard Clint Smith, who's a famous author. He's former English teacher. Now he's a famous author, very, very well known in the Black sphere altogether, working with this, like working to combat anti-Black racism. He's devoted his life to it. And he even said, he's like, what we're doing right now, what I can say is like, we're chipping at this wall. We're trying to break this wall. And it's not only for us, it's for our kids, our kids to have, you know, the freedom that we actually are fighting for, right? The freedom to say we can do whatever we want, be treated equally, all of it. We're just chipping away at that wall, right? So just the work that we're doing, it never stops. Like we can't go to bed, wake up, and not be Black. Like we're living with this all the time. So just the work never stops. It's got to be a lifetime devotion, lifetime commitment to it all, man.
Yeah, and that's why we need, like what Pao was saying, we can't do this on our own. Like people are looking to us for like, yeah, lead us because you're Black, so you know. But like realistically, we need the help of not just other minorities, but the majority. We need white help. Like this is all set up systemically where we're supposed to just lose. Like there's no way we win on our own. You know, you need the help of educating everybody. Everybody's got to understand if we're going to get to a place where I don't overreact when I see a cop.
Right.
I don't even know if that's overreacting. That's realistically, it's me just being safe and cautious.
Bro, do you guys remember, like we had a brethren of ours who wanted to take a road trip this summer before COVID happened. And I was so against it because this guy wanted to go down to the States. I won't name him, but I'll say we wanted to go to Nashville. Yeah. And sure, Nashville's great, but as a Black man, as that's a layer you have. That's your layer that you gotta, your lens that you're looking at life through. It's different. Yeah. Like I gotta think about myself. I gotta think about my boys who are all people of color, and we're gonna take a car from here, Ontario, down to Nashville, Tennessee. And down through the Bible Belt, down through the South that does not like us, a country that treats two countries that treat Black people like second-class citizens. Nah, man. It shouldn't be that way. We should have the freedom to do what we want and to travel where we want to go without feeling like we're fearful of our lives.
Honestly, like I can say that even my dad, my parents, pretty much bringing us to places where, you know, without thinking about, you know, that we're a different race, like saying, hey, you have the opportunity to go wherever you want. So I had that instilled in my mind, but there was always something in the back of my mind being like, these people, if I'm in like TI or this, I'm not going to name any place, but any place that's predominantly white, hey, you're going to be, some people are going to look at you, they're going to perceive something of you. And I've always had that in the back of my mind, like we're always being seen as different citizens in a sense, right? Like not equal by everyone. So it's just something that we just have to combat, man. We just have to combat. And it doesn't start with us, it starts with everyone else.
Yeah, we're like one of the few people in this world that have been given the responsibility, and often in a lot of our circles, whether it be at work or your groups of friends, of representing an entire race of people in your interactions. So like when I moved to Richmond Hill and I was 13 years old, those guys were off rip being like, yo, would I get shot if I wore this? Would I get shot? Like that's a very simplistic example of how the impact that my words had on affecting what people thought about Black people. But those are the questions that I've been getting from that group of friends. Like I had such an impact on that. You know what I mean? And like, I don't think we often really fully, truly understand the fact that that's really kind of crazy. The the burden that we have when it comes to having to represent ourselves in a certain way. Because Patrick, you walk on the streets, you're not representing Patrick. You're representing all black guys. You're just a black guy.
Yep. Right. It's nuts, man. Like the weight that we have to bear on our shoulders. You know what I mean? Like it's
And going back to like the lens that we look at everything through, like I was walking down the street with my homegirl that lives down the street. We'll sometimes have like a little roadie and go for a walk, right? So we're walking, and all of a sudden a cop drives by, and I have a roadie in my hand, and I'm immediately panicking, and I'm like, "Fuck, he's gonna see it. I'm booked." All of a sudden, another cop shows up behind and turns on the street that we're about to turn on, and I'm like, "Fuck, holy!" And they're communicating, so for sure he's about to come and talk to me. Then the next one came back, and I was like, "Holy, this is absolutely happening." I'm freaking out, and she's like laughing and giggling and still having a good time. So our lenses are completely disconnected. You know, not to mention that the reason why I'm reacting that way is because on my actual 16th birthday, I went to the movies. This is in Richmond Hill. I went to the movies with my boys, like 4 of them. We finished watching the movie. We're standing like on, you know how like a Silver City is. There's like a bunch of steps outside, and you're just kicking it. And you're 16. That's where you loiter. Everybody's doing it. There's like 40 people there. Yeah. These cops come up to me, and me and my Hispanic friend, and this is me. They picked us out of my group of white friends, and was like, "Hey, have you seen anybody acting weird around here?" Or they came from across. Like it wasn't across, it was on the other side of the parking lot where there was an Indigo. They came from over there, and I was like, "I don't know, bro. I just came out of the movie theater." He's like, "Okay, cool." Goes away, comes back, and in front of everybody, mind you, like this is like the equivalent of going to, I don't know, whatever the most poppin' nightclub would be. It's like going to Escobar on a Thursday. So I'm basically, me and my Hispanic friend are the only ones, and we're being frisked on the wall and searched.
What?
Out of everybody.
What?
And this is as I'm just like leaving the movie theater, celebrating my 16th birthday. And after they found nothing, obviously, because I was just going to celebrate my fucking birthday, I called my mom, and my mom came through, obviously guns blazing. And, they try to backtrack and say, "Oh, sorry, he fit the description. He just fit the description. We can take him on a tour and show him that, basically trying to, you're just going to take me to look at the police station. Like, what the fuck is that going to do? I don't give a fuck."
Right.
And then when I got home that night, my dad, I remember him saying, "Happy birthday. Now now you're finally a black man."
Wow. Wow.
So this is shit that a lot of people don't have to deal with.
Honestly.
I've always treated a lot with a lot of respect. I remember getting pulled over a number of times. Not being charged for anything, but always like there was one instance where I got pulled over. The cop was in the same gas station I was filling up on. I was driving down, got pulled over, put the lights on, everything. He comes over to the side, sees me, he talks. He's like, "You just have to make sure you put on your lights because we can't see. It's dark at night. You got to put on your lights." Like, just an instance, he saw me in the gas station, right? He saw me in the gas station. He could have told me then and there, but he had to wait until I was close to home to actually do it. I'm not going to take a bunch of different scenarios and say, "Hey, this is what I've done." It's happened. Yeah. We are racially profiled, right? So it's one of those things we just have, like, once again, hopefully it changes. Right. Hopefully more changes in the education system too, which is one of those things too, being de-streamed from academic classes is one thing too. That's a lot too. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in our system that we just sweep under the rug. And it's on us to combat it.
That's my biggest beef is like, that's where I felt it the most, to be honest with you, was in the educational system growing up. Like in the, I'm from Malvern, Malvern has a rep of, you already know. And especially back then, like, the Vern was hot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there was definitely some gang violence and everything like that. But they tried to stream me at that age, like elementary school. We're talking from the school
That's
went
a
from
big
kindergarten to
thing.
grade
That's a
6.
big thing. That's a big problem.
From kindergarten
man.
to grade 6,
Yeah.
my guy. They're trying to tell me and trying to tell my parents that, you know, well, you should start thinking about trades and you know, the academic route probably won't be best for Patrick and all this and behavioral issues and telling me I have all sorts of things. And my parents are like, yo, my dad was like, my child does not have any of that stuff you're saying. Like, my child will be going to university. And I did. But in that instance, and I remember this because I would get suspended. You guys know me. I'm not the type of guy that's going to get
getting suspended for? What the hell?
Exactly. I had a bunch of suspensions from probably grade 1 through 4.
What the fuck?
A bunch of suspensions. In school suspensions for what?
That's
Talking,
hilarious.
for laughing in class.
Man, holy.
And like,
coming from,
they would put my desk right beside the teacher. Like almost every single school year,
Pat was a
my
bad
desk was right
breed.
beside the teacher. Not at all. And that's it. And
So
it's
what
like,
kind of shit were
not
you
just-
getting suspended for?
Bro, I would be like, someone tells a joke, I'd be the last one laughing in class. I'd be
Oh
talking
my
and
god! Wow.
stuff like that. And like, it wasn't just me. It was the other young black kids. They were targeting. They're making us
What's
stay
fucked
after
is
school.
basically you're saying you've been profiled your entire life, whether it be from a law enforcement standpoint or an educational standpoint, which is fucked.
Exactly. And then I got to middle school and it was the same thing until I got fortunate to have some black teachers, a woman and a man in 2 separate years. And they took me under their wing and they watched over me. While other teachers would try to report things that didn't really happen, they would be like, all right, don't worry, we got it. We'll discipline. And they would just talk to me and have little discussions and be like, listen, you got to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
Because there's a target on your back. And it shouldn't be that way.
But what black person hasn't heard you'll have to work twice as hard for that white person? For whatever that white person's gonna get for that same job or whatever the fuck it is. Like we've all been taught that.
It's crazy, man.
Like you being profiled in elementary school is fucked. That's beyond fucked. I don't have that experience, thankfully, but like I can only imagine what that can do to somebody where you're constantly being told that no matter what the fuck you're gonna do, it's not gonna be good enough.
And so here's the thing. Here's the icing on that cake is you tell that to a kid enough times, they're going to believe that. So by the time I got to middle school, the same guys who were getting in trouble with me, and maybe they didn't hear that at home, that they were worth it, that they were special, that they ended up being those gangbangers. They were the ones who now were locked up because they took that mentality of, well, they told me I ain't shit. I ain't going to be shit. So that's it. And that's the issue right there.
Yeah,
that's why I literally every day I do my job. I'm really trying to advocate for these, and a lot of these black youth do gravitate towards me because sometimes I'm the only black teacher in the school that I actually can trust, especially with my age and whatnot too. But that's unfortunate because that happens to, like in TDSB, it's definitely there. There are different boards too that are starting to come out with different data saying, this has been a problem for decades. Yeah. So it's not uncommon, and it's traumatizing. Yeah, it really is traumatizing, and it's almost as though those guys that you just referred to going to jail, they could have got help. They could have been told at home. They could have been told by their teachers, right? So it's really, really tough. Just last thing, I would never forget one of the principals, because I took a chair off and then I probably put it down when she was talking. She's probably still working the same board I'm teaching right now. Which I remember getting a chair, putting it down and scraping it on the ground. And she brought me into her office. First time, I've never been suspended, never been obviously in my school career, but I missed the dance because of that. I was so cheesed. I remember that. I will never forget that because I missed the dance by sitting in her office, right? But there was a lot of, and she did it for no reason. It was literally no reason why she did that too. But there's a lot of different instances over my school career where I didn't really have a black teacher that I can refer to, or I didn't have a teacher that I
only was able to get through my master's degree because I had a black teacher that was there, a black professor. And it wasn't even the one that was there marking my work, but he was the one that kept on telling me like, yo, fuck that guy, basically. He wasn't saying it like that at all because like he's a great, great guy. But it's like he really empowered me in like doing my documentary and making that my thesis by saying, yo, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? You know, and like You just need people like that through your life. Like we were told, you've been told that you should do trades. I've been told that I shouldn't have. In grade 11, I was doing. I think I was getting. I probably had higher than the average for the class, but it was in the high 60s. And my counselor or whatever, he was trying to tell me, in conjunction with the English teacher, that I should take. I could take college courses, so that because Shaq's a great basketball player, so he should do, like, what does one have to do with the other? And it always had to do it, like, for whatever reason, Shaq's a great basketball player, so like, what the fuck does that even mean? Right. So you're saying basically, if I listened to these dummies, I would have maybe went to college, where there's nothing wrong with going to college at all. That's not even what I'm saying, but I would have went to college. And then who knows? Like, I could have just completely settled if I just accepted every single time some white person came and told me, "Nah, you're not it." Mm-hmm. And look at how much I've accomplished disobeying whatever shit they've been trying to feed down my throat. Which is why we got to be unapologetic.
And one of the big topics of the review, the ministry review on anti-Black racism, was the fact that there needs to be more representation for guidance counselors. Because there's hardly any Black guidance counselors in the field, and that's one of the issues that we have, right? And we're just the fact that we all have been told when we're younger, you have to work harder. Like, everything you do, you have to work harder than the next man, because that's just how the world is set up. Like, screw that, man. Screw that. Want to break those down. And Mr. Lobo, I'm still cheesed that you gave me a 94 and you gave Carnivore a 95. I deserve that.
Yeah, word. Fuck you, Mr. Woods. Anybody else want to get that shit off?
Yeah. Mr. Huggett, what up? Say something.
Fuck. I don't even remember my guidance counselor's name. He's such a dick. Fuck. So insignificant.
Oh, man.
We gotta do a positivity though.
Yeah,
but definitely, still fuck them. I do recall, like, every single time, I've seen them before. My English teacher, and I've been like, yo, hey, remember me? Yeah, I'm in university now. Hey, yo, what's good? Yeah, graduated. I got a degree and a diploma, bro. Like, I've seen him because he's friends with other teachers that I'm cool with. So I've seen him, and I think it's important as people that are defying these people that are trying to limit us to say, hey, dumbass, you were wrong.
That's it.
And it's really, honestly, man, we have, like, Black people have the worst and most negative stereotypes about them. Or, I'm not trying to make this competition, but of any race, we have the most negative ones, right? Other culture, other skin types, of course, skin.
I mean, races works. Races already works.
Right way. Other races have positive stereotypes about. There are some that say, okay, you're going to graduate, you're going to go to a great university because you're smart, and all of your parents have had that, intellect from the start. We have not had that. So it's on us to break that stereotype, and I'm really, really, really hoping that it does get broken.
I think this is so. I think we should. I know it's still going to be a conversation just because of the gravity of the situation, but I think we should really take a conscious effort to address a lot of these things up front, whether it be directly on this podcast or in the streets when we're talking to people. But these are things that we need to talk about, because, like my instructor told me, like, if you're not going to do it, nobody's going to do it.
That's it, man. That's it. We got to be the ones, man.
I got a little bit of comic relief because I downloaded a sick app. I don't know if you guys saw it, because I saw it on Instagram somewhere, like, just before we recorded, but I'm not even disappointed. It's so stupid, but allow me, fam. It's called, what is it called? I got to tell you what it's called. Toronto Man's Soundboard.
Cheese!
It's got like a bunch of, this shit's hilarious. Wait, let me turn this up.
Oh,
here we go.
A lie? You trying to catch a deaf ass? Yeah.
The deaf ass kind of cheese me.
It's not a deaf they gotta re-record that. It's not deaf ass. Who's man's, dog? Who's man's?
Wagwan.
I'm giving him like a little
sweeter man's.
yo, let's definitely not for Brampton that recorded that.
Are you dumb, fam?
Yo, why does that sound like your boy Evan, dog?
Jeez.
That's not Evan. I don't know. I just found it on the internet. Bro. Yo, they have it has two settings: Toronto Man or cringe. So that was Toronto Man. Yeah, I can only imagine how cringy is.
Jeez, nice it. Are you dumb?
Anyways,
yo,
I just want to.
Yo, run that back. Hold on.
Which one?
You gotta be better, man.
What the cringe?
No, yeah, there was nice it. What?
Nice it. Ting.
Bro.
Gael dem.
Yo, dog, I'm signing off, bro. I can't, bro.
Yo, it lifted my spirits, fam.
Oh man, I love Toronto Mans.
No, that's like that's the Google translator for Toronto Mans.
Yes.
So if you ever find a foreigner ting, the baddie that's not even from the ends that no man has ever seen.
Yo,
post-COVID.
Yeah, post-COVID. Once quarantine lock off. That's gonna be Shaq all day, yo. This guy's gonna be in some like foreign island, just trying to translate.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
Yo, this man's gonna be out with some foreign thing, just like, hold on, let me translate for you.
No, guys. I'm gonna be wholesome and alone at home because I've created this like little fortress of I don't ever want to go outside no more. So
you got your Grand Theft Auto. We know.
So, exactly. Question: Are you guys be protesting? Are you guys going out there to protest?
I have mixed feelings about protesting. I have very mixed feelings about protesting, which makes me feel like I don't want to do it. It's not for me. I'm not the person to tell. I feel like I'm so happy and appreciative, and I feel really good that there's a lot of people out there that are doing that. Mind you, we're all a bunch of people that are trying to solve a problem we don't have the answers to. I feel like my impactful participation in this movement is what I've been doing on social media and the fact that I'm putting together another documentary. Because I think like what we've been saying, education and awareness, those are really big, powerful things that we can do right now. However, I think the protesting, I'm all the power to everybody that's doing it, and I'm there and I support you in spirit, because I also in the same breath feel, especially with this COVID-19 thing, that this is not completely coincidental, and I could go down that rabbit hole as well, where I just think it kind of goes hand in hand with, enraging a certain type of people and telling them that, okay, you can kind of peaceful protest and, do something, or they have something at this level that enrages this type of people, this amount of people that are on this side during a global pandemic. I feel very weird about it. So that's my
pandemic part.
That's fair. I would say, yeah, I would love to hear any of our listeners. If you have participated in the protest, reach out to us, let us know, because I actually would love to hear that side of it. Yeah. But I myself, I probably won't be, just because I've been working. Like I don't like to brag about what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to push an initiative right now at work that will lead to change in my corporate structure. So for me, I feel like not everyone can march, not everyone can be an activist. So for me, that's where I'm putting my energy, is trying to make change in something in a place I go to every day. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm just putting forth this initiative, a training for our leaders in the organization on what it means to have equality for Black lives and the Black community, and being supportive and being allies. So that's kind of where my time's been. But like you, Shaq, I tip my cap. I salute those who are marching, and across all races, because this is an issue that we need everyone's support on. Yeah. But yeah, I probably won't make it out to one.
Got you. Yeah, got you. Likewise in me. Been indifferent towards it. I've been like, hey, it's a pandemic, right? If it weren't that, I would be probably marching. I think I might later on in the month get out there. But as of right now, yeah, I'm stuck. I'm working. I'm literally here trying to educate young minds, trying to educate people, my staff as well too, because of everything going on right now. So it's more just awareness on social media, and just educating people as well too, man. That's so I echo both. And
honestly, by awareness on social media, let me clarify to somebody that thinks that I'm just posting memes. I have The past week, which has been completely overwhelming and why we're exhausted, aside from waking up with sadness and anger and everything, is constant conversations. Yeah, it's cool. Like, you know, I'm used to having a few DMs, but the DMs I have now are huge chunks of paragraphs from multiple people, oftentimes in the past couple days, 20 people, where I have like serious conversations that I know that I should not gloss over and give like a double tap or a black fist. So I'm going to engage with everybody. And I, you know, this is the unfortunate responsibility that we have as black men, especially, you know, ones that are creating content. I'm completely, you know, invested in that. When I say I'm doing social media, I'm not just posting shit to share. I'm talking to a lot of people. Which I think also has its level of impact. So I think with what you guys are saying, we're all in agreement that as long as you're doing something to evoke some change, that's all we really need here. Like, it's not necessarily like protesting or that's it. Like, protesting is one aspect of it. Yes.
Yeah, one way of doing that. I know.
Gavi, give him yourself.
The world general speaking.
Yeah, man. Patrick Dennis Jr. Check it out. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
All right, Mr. Brompton, give him you.
Brompton's finest.
A lot.
Can't hear you. You gotta do it again. You gotta do it again. You gotta do it again. We didn't hear you at all.
Hey, G_JB.
The underscore.
G_JB.
G_JB. I got you. It's a horrible app, whatever. And of course, myself.
Shop like Shak. You waste you.
Yeah, please talk to all. I didn't mean the overwhelmed part of in terms of like don't talk to us, but please let's keep the conversation going. There's a whole lot that we got to do, a whole lot of work to get done, and we're all just still trying to figure it out.
Rolex won't keep you sane and safe from danger. They shut down nature. Where the fuck I'm supposed to place my anger? Ironically, my honesty might make me enemy of state. I trust that God to use my pen to draw his face. Still got my pistol on my waist.
If I shout, but ain't nobody around to hear it, how about it when it echoes? I sing loud to talk to my inner child. He feeling young dreams made out of Legos. I reach out despite the feeling they out to kill us. Get rowdy about them pesos. What solution for this cold institution? Just to breathe, we need to let go. Oh, we need to let go. Oh, we need to let go. We need to let go. Oh, we need to let go.
7 pounds of flesh to hang out when it pierced your vest and it rang out. And them tears your best friend is crying. It appears won't rest, but a page out of the book of life said pray loud. Never took a knife to a gunfight. Pops got 2 strikes from the umpire. Stoplight 2 rights on the bump tie. And the sirens plus red and blue lights told me pull over. I should feel safer, but expired plates on old Toyotas means I can't afford to pay tickets. So to these racist rollers, they could pull the trigger. Family can't afford to pay the lawyer. Say the word, they tell me you got access to a league of warriors. Eyes haven't seen what heaven keeps in store for us. There's more of us. But in this life, some wars we can't avoid. I wrote this the day they killed George Floyd. We won't